Welcome to today's deep dive. So I want you to imagine your absolute greatest skill. The thing that completely defines you, the thing everyone always praises you for. Now imagine taking that superpower and just slamming it face first into an absolute brick wall. What actually happens to who you are when the thing that makes you exceptional suddenly just stops being enough?
Yeah, we were examining that exact psychological collision today. By looking at the character studies of, well, three distinct manga prodigies. We've got Neji, Sasuke, and Killua. And our mission here is to really uncover what happens to human identity when foundational talent just, fails.
Right. Okay, then let's unpack this, because when natural geniuses hit a limit, their first instinct is usually denial, right?
Right.
But it's usually dressed up in a really fancy suit. Take Neji, for example. I mean, he masters complex techniques in months, but then he loses to Naruto.
Exactly. And Naruto is someone who, by every measurable standard, should have been completely beneath him. So Neji's brain just goes into absolute overdrive to handle that cognitive dissonance. Instead of updating his worldview to accept that hard work can rival natural talent, he experiences what we call belief perseverance.
Belief perseverance.
Yeah, he leans heavily into this philosophy of fixed fate.
So rather than admit he might be wrong, he just decides the whole universe is rigged.
Basically.
It's like a chess grandmaster losing to a total beginner who barely knows how the knight moves.
Yeah.
Right. And instead of reviewing their own bad strategy, the grandmaster just says, well, the stars clearly destined me to lose today.
That is a perfect analogy, because if ceilings aren't fixed by fate, Neji has to face a pretty terrifying reality. He has to admit that his previous acceptance of his own difficult life situation wasn't like profound wisdom, it was really just giving up.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Right? So this philosophy is structurally necessary to protect his ego. He treats his loss as a mere anomaly in a predetermined universe.
Okay, so Neji protects his ego by building this philosophical wall, basically to change the rules of reality. But what happens when someone doesn't have the luxury of denial? Like, what happens when that wall is a literal person you just have to defeat? Like Sasuke's older brother, Itachi.
Well, there we see a drastically different reaction. Sasuke faces this unyielding internal limitation, like he is just never quite strong enough. So he obsessively doubles down. Psychologists actually refer to this as identity foreclosure through achievement orientation.
Wait, let me push back on that a second. Isn't extreme focus kind of necessary for greatness? I mean, Olympic athletes obsess over closing gaps all the time. So when exactly does dedication cross the line into, like, dangerous identity foreclosure?
That's a great question. The line is really crossed when the obsession costs you your capacity for genuine connection. Let's look at the mechanism here. When a person forecloses their identity into a single mission for power, their brain codes survival entirely to that one metric of strength.
Oh, I see.
Right. So when people who genuinely care for Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, when they offer friendship or comfort, his brain doesn't process it as love, it processes it as a distraction.
Like a threat to his edge.
Exactly. His talent gives him power, but it functionally strips away his humanity.
That makes so much sense. Any vulnerability is a literal threat to the mission.
Okay.
But, this actually perfectly sets up Killua. Because if Sasuke sacrifices connection for his gift, Killua completely inverts the script. He basically sacrifices his gift for connection.
He does. I mean, Killua is an effortless, terrifyingly effective assassin. But the limitation he hits isn't physical at all. It's moral.
Right.
He is horrified by how easily killing comes to him. And in response, he just runs away to find Gon and simply be a kid.
And here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because my initial reaction reading his profile was, oh, he's just avoiding his potential. But actually thinking about it, like, if you're a prodigy at something destructive, leaning into it would be the real pathology. Running away isn't clinical avoidance here. It's actually self-preservation.
That distinction is so crucial. It is the healthiest possible response. Being exceptional at something is not a moral argument that you must do it.
But wait, say that again.
Being exceptional at something doesn't mean you have to do it. Just because you possess a gift doesn't mean that gift aligns with the person you actually want to become.
That is a total aha moment for me.
Yeah.
Talent isn't a life sentence.
No, it's not. But talent often creates walls to trap us. For Neji, it was a wall of philosophy to avoid feeling weak. For Sasuke, it was a wall of mission to avoid vulnerability. And for Killua, a wall of running to avoid his own darker nature.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I want you to think about what you're most naturally gifted at. The thing people have always praised you for. What has that story actually cost you? Who are you when that talent isn't performing?
Yeah, it really forces a reconsideration of where our self-worth actually comes from. Our abilities are just a starting point. They are not the final destination.
Which brings us right back to that brick wall we started with. Since your defining gift is just a starting point, if it permanently vanished tomorrow morning, would you actually like the person left standing in the rubble?